everyone. So today we're going to be learning topic 3, Etika dan Peradaban dalam Masyarakat Kepelbagaian. Now before we get into today's topic, I would like to thank all of you for showing your love and appreciation for my past two videos. Now if you like this video, do make sure to leave a comment so it inspires me to make more videos for all of you. Now let's dive into today's topic. So, topic 3 is about etika dan peradaban dalam masyarakat kepelbagaian, right? So, there are four component etika dan peradaban. There are like four pillars, okay? Component etika dan peradaban shows the four main components that shape how a civilization develops. Peradaban, how ethical values are formed and practiced in the society. Etika, ethics. Okay, think of it as four pillars that build a civilization itself. Okay, so we have persekitaran, geophysical, masyarakat dan demografi, ekonomi dan pasaran, falsafah dan pemikiran. These are the four components that influence, okay, how a civilization is developed, how ethical values are formed. The main four components. And I'm going to straight touch on topic 3.2.1, persekitaran geophysical. Lazimnya, sesuatu etnik mempunyai pertalian sejarah, tradisi dan budaya dengan persekitaran kawasan geografi tertentu. Usually, an ethnic group has connection with its history, tradition, and culture of its surrounding geographical environment. Alright, remember these 3 points. Pertalian sejarah, tradisi dan budaya. Bermula pada penghujung zaman batu dan permulaan zaman gangsa, masyarakat dari Indo-China dan daerah-daerah lain telah berhijrah ke semenanjung tanah Melayu. At the very beginning of zaman batu, okay, Stone Age, dan permulaan zaman gangsa, the end of Bronze Age, masyarakat dari Indo-China dan daerah-daerah lain telah berhijrah ke semenanjung tanah Melayu. People from Indo-China and the nearby regions, okay, or the other regions, started migrating to semenanjung tanah Melayu. Now, do remember that berhijrah means migration, okay, moving from one place to another place. Kelompok ini dikenali sebagai Melayu pesisir atau Melayu jati dan Melayu deutero yang mempunyai corak kehidupan yang lebih sistematik dan mendiami kawasan persisiran pantai. Now, this group of people, right, who travelled or who migrated from Indo-China or the nearby regions to Semenanjung Tanah Melayu, this group of people are known as Melayu pesisir or Melayu jati and also Melayu deutero. They had two types of corak kehidupan, which is lebih sistematik dan mendiami kawasan persisiran pantai, which means that they had more of a systematic order of a lifestyle and they lived around persisiran pantai. What does persisiran pantai mean? It means the coastal area, the area near the beach or shoreline. Okay, now Melayu deutero inilah yang membentuk rumpun etnik Melayu di seluruh kepulauan Asia Tenggara yang dikenali sebagai Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapura, Brunei dan Filipina. Now what does this part mean? Now this Melayu deutero, right? They are the one who eventually form the core of the Malay ethnic group. Okay, across where? Across Kepulauan Asia Tenggara, alright, Southeast Asian archipelago, which today includes Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapura, Brunei and the Philippines. Alright, now persekitaran tanah Melayu memiliki iklim dan kedudukan geografi yang terlindung dari bencana alam. Okay, so what happened because of this? Suasana ini secara tidak langsung telah mempengaruhi jiwa dan tindakan Melayu untuk tidak bekerja keras kerana punca rezeki yang mudah, hasil dari tanah yang subur, laut yang kurang bergelora dan hutan yang kaya dengan sumber makanan. Now it makes lots of sense that when you have all of these facilities, okay, you're blessed with an amazing climate, amazing geographical position. Now, when you have everything, Why would you go the extra mile? So it eventually influenced the Malays' mindset and lifestyle. Okay, because it is easily obtained due to fertile land, calm seas, forests rich in food resources. So the society or this group of people became very comfortable in life. Alright? Now, oleh itu adalah mustahil untuk masyarakatnya ditimpa kebuluran. Kebuluran means starvation, which means that because of these blessings, alright, because of these resources, people did not suffer from starvation. Okay, sejarah membuktikan kedudukan geografi memainkan peranan sebagai pembentuk interaksi antara tamadun. It says that history proves a geographical location plays a crucial role in forming interaction between civilizations. Now you may wonder, how can a geographical location play such a role? Now let's just take this story for instance, what we have learned today for an instance. The geographical location we're talking about is Persisiran Pantai, coastal area beside the beach, along the shoreline, right? Now, these people, Melayu Dutro or this Masyarakat, lives along the side. Now, how are they going to have interaction? And you got to remember that being near the sea or coast, they will also be able to meet traders because these are trade routes. Living in such a location, it opens room for trade, migration, spreading of religion, exchanging of culture, language, technology, and so on. So, Tamaduna or civilization near the sea interacted more because ships could travel easily. Places on major trade routes met traders from many, many lands. Alright, isolated areas had less interaction and slower cultural exchange. So these are the differences. Okay, you have a strategic location, a very nice geographical location. You get to interact with different civilization. If you live in an isolated area, you had a lesser chance of interaction and slower cultural exchange. Now, when we say persekitaran geophysical, right, this refers to location, climate, landforms like mountain, rivers, seas, and also our natural resources. Okay. Now you may be wondering how can this geophysical, right, impact or affect etika and peradaban? Okay. Now you got to remember, right, that geography influences lifestyles, jobs, and culture. Okay. It determines whether people farm, fish, trade, or migrate. Correct or not? Example, living near seas and rivers. What would you do? Most likely be fishing. You will be most likely sailing or trading. Now let's just say you're living in a fertile land. Like I said, you would be farming or doing agriculture, isn't it? So culture does not develop randomly. It is shaped by the environment itself. All right. So you have to know that Tanah Melayu is actually surrounded by Laut Cina Selatan and is located next to Selat Melaka. Now you may wonder why is this point important? Because it becomes a major international sea route for ships from China and India to pass through this area, which made Tanah Melayu tempat pertemuan dan pergaulan dua peradaban besar dunia, a meeting point of civilization, which is China dan India. Alright. They also say that kegiatan perdagangan, it means trade. Okay, trade brought Chinese traders, Indian traders. So can you see how, because of this beautiful geophysical, all these other things are also happening. Okay, it's contributing to all these changes, to this growth. Okay, so through trade, there was exchange of goods, exchange of ideas, exchange of culture, religion, and technology. I hope you understand until here. Then it also says that Alam Layu menjadi asas dagangan dengan peradaban lain. Now you got to know that alam Melayu had rich natural resources such as spices, forest products, agricultural goods, which became valuable trade items. So, what happened because of this? It encouraged foreign traders to come, like I said earlier. It strengthened our economic growth, increased interaction with other civilization. All right? Okay, and look at the fourth point. Peradaban Malaysia adalah penyulaman peradaban majmuk dunia melalui difusi budaya. So, Malaysian civilization is a blend or it's a mixture of many civilizations. Which happened through what? Which happened through diffusi budaya, cultural diffusion. It means the spread of ideas, belief, customs, and practices from one culture to another. Because you're meeting different people from different parts of the world, you see. So you will tend to adopt those cultures. You will tend to adopt those their practices. So it all got blended together. It all got mixed up together. Okay, so the result is we have multi-ethnic society. We are a multi-ethnic society. We have diverse languages, foods, traditions, beliefs. Okay, so you have to remember, guys, that Malaysia is not shaped by one culture alone, but by many civilization woven together. Alright? Pendulaman peradaban majmuk dunia. Alright, let's dive into topic 3.2.2, masyarakat dan demografi. Masyarakat ialah satu konsep yang paling penting dalam memahami hubungan etnik. Masyarakat bermaksud sekelompok orang yang membentuk sebuah sistem interaksi sosial di mana sebahagian besar interaksi yang berlaku dalam lingkungan sistem sosial itu adalah lahir daripada individu-individu yang berada dalam kelompok tersebut. Okay, so generally masyarakat is society. Okay, it refers to a group of people who live together, interact with one another, and follow shared rules, values, and ways of life. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to explore three different understandings of the word or the term masyarakat from three different scholars. Okay, over here we have someone called Kunchara Ningrat, who is actually an Indonesian anthropologist, Harry L. Shapiro, who's an American anthropologist, and Lucy Mayer, who is a British anthropologist. Now, when I keep saying anthropologist, right, you may wonder what it means. Okay, anthropologist is a scientist who studies humanity, including its origins, development, behaviors, and cultures. So basically, they try to understand human behaviors, everything about human. All right. So now we have three different scholars here, three different anthropologists here. Now, for Kuncha Ningrat, his understanding of or his view of masyarakat means satu kelompok manusia yang hidup bekerja sama hingga mereka dapat mengorientasikan dirinya dan berfikir mengenai dirinya sebagai kesatuan sosial yang mempunyai batas-batas tertentu. Which means a group of people, right, who live and work together, recognize themselves as one group and are bound by social rules. All right? Now, he's trying to say, or his understanding is that people generally live together. They interact and cooperate. They know they belong to the same group. And their lives are controlled by social boundaries, social norms. Now, let me give you an example. Let's take a village community. Okay, a village community where people know each other, they follow customs, and they help one another. So this is his concept of masyarakat. Now we have Harry L. Shapiro. Now he says manusia yang hidup dalam suatu kelompok dan bekerja sama antara satu sama lain terdiri daripada lelaki, perempuan dan kanak-kanak. Wujud dari satu generasi ke satu generasi yang lain di samping mewariskan unsur-unsur tradisi. Now, what you can see here is that the difference between Kuncha and Harry L. Shapiro is that he has brought in something that Kuncha did not mention. Okay, so he says humans living and working together as a group, consisting of men, women, children, passed down from one generation to another while inheriting traditions. Now, let me give you a much more simple explanation. He's trying to say that society includes ages and genders. He thinks that it continues from generation to generation. Traditions and cultures are passed down, all right? And that society is something that lasts over time, it is not temporary. For example, we have family traditions, festivals, languages, customs inherited from grandparents. All right. Then our third one is Lucy Mayer, whereby she says masyarakat adalah suatu gagasan yang mengandungi manusia yang berhubungan bersama secara kolektif melalui hak dan obligasi yang saling mengiktiraf. Now, what she's trying to say is that society is actually a concept of people connected together collectively through shared rights, responsibilities, and obligations. Okay? Society exists because people are connected. The members have rights, members have duties, members have responsibilities that they must do. So everyone technically depend on each other. Example, citizens, what do? They obey laws, have to pay taxes, and receive protection and services. Right? So these are the three views of the term masyarakat or the idea of masyarakat, society. Okay? Secara umum, masyarakat mengalami proses evolusi dari satu tahap ke satu tahap yang lain. Bermula dengan masyarakat primitif and then to masyarakat menternak, masyarakat hortikultur, masyarakat tani. What does this mean? Okay. So this diagram is actually about how society develops over time, how it changes over time, step by step. Okay. Now you have to understand that society does not stay the same. It changes gradually. It changes stage by stage. Get the idea? Masyarakat akan berubah. Alright? Development is continuous. Alright, here over here you can see perkembangannya adalah berbentuk sehala dan berterusan. Now let me touch on these 4 points here, or these 4 stages. These four early stages are known as masyarakat tradisional. Keempat-empat tahap ini dikenali sebagai masyarakat tradisional. Kita ada masyarakat primitif. What does it mean? Masyarakat primitif is the stage of very early humans. People used simple tools, depended on nature, like for huntings. Again, they're very small in group. Example, people living in the caves, using stone tools. That is masyarakat primitive. And then slowly over time, they changed and they became masyarakat menternak. People start keeping animals. Animals for food, transportation, for work purposes. Okay, still a very simple lifestyle. Okay, so they had cows, goats, sheep. All right. Now again from here, we changed into masyarakat horticulture. What does it mean? We started small scale farming. Started using simple tools. We started growing crops mainly for our own use, like planting vegetables, fruits. Okay. Now from this, we changed some more. We changed into masyarakat tani. We became more advanced in agriculture. Farming becomes main economic activity. Settled villages, stronger traditions. Example, we had rice farming communities. Okay, so these very four stages are known as the masyarakat traditional. Then what happened next is masyarakat terus berkembang daripada masyarakat tradisional kepada masyarakat moden. Now what does this mean, huh? Society didn't just stop there in the traditional way. It continued to develop into a modern society di mana kita ada masyarakat industri, masyarakat pasca industri, masyarakat sains dan teknologi. Masyarakat industri whereby we have factories, machines, and then pasca industry we have services and information. Science and technology where we use digital AI, internet. Okay, so these are the ones. So modern cities, technology based jobs, online communication. All right. So this is how society has been developing over time. Perkembangannya adalah berbentuk sehala dan berterusan, which means development moves forward only, not backwards. Okay, so ciri-ciri masyarakat, there are a few. You got to know the features, right? Number one, perlakuan berhubung, kerjasama, interaksi. Whether it is lisan or non-lisan, bukan lisan, right? There are always interactions. That is how masyarakat, that is how society is. Number two, memiliki kebudayaan, material atau bukan material. Hidup dalam kelompok mencetus kreativiti dan inovasi. Lain masyarakat, lain budaya. So we have the Malays, Indians, Chinese, Sikh, and the others, right? So these are all different society, different groups, and they all have different cultures. But we all live together. This is society. This is masyarakat. Okay, perlu ada perhubungan sesama kelompok atau berlainan kelompok secara formal atau tidak formal. Point number four, mempunyai kepimpinan, tanggungjawab pemimpin mengurus masyarakat. So, as a masyarakat, what do you see? We do have leaders and followers, right? So, there's someone who commands, someone who instructs, someone who rules, isn't it? So, that is also one of the ciri-ciri of masyarakat. Next point, sentiasa mengalami perubahan, tidak statik, bilangan ahli, politik, social, sistem ekonomi. So there's always constant changes. Alright? Next, mempunyai stratifikasi sosial, kelas, status, kasta. Okay, harta dan kekayaan, status, peranan dalam masyarakat, kasta ditentukan melalui kelahiran. Okay, so these are all the points or ciri-ciri masyarakat. So you can try to get some examples, so try to dive deep, or you can remember these points, this very simple 6 points. You can make it shorter, okay, in a way which is easier for you to remember. Now, another point that you will learn also in this point number 2, masyarakat dan demografi, is this term masyarakat majmuk. Okay. Definisi masyarakat dalam konteks Malaysia. Masyarakat majmuk atau masyarakat pelbagai kaum merujuk kepada suasana kepelbagaian bangsa yang sama-sama atau berkongsi hidup dan tinggal dalam sebuah negara yang sama. Masyarakat majmuk dalam sesebuah negara seperti Malaysia pada kebiasaannya terdiri daripada kelompok majoriti, disusuli oleh sub-sub etnik lain yang lebih kecil dan kurang berpengaruh. Now, when you come across the term masyarakat majmuk, masyarakat pelbagai kaum, or masyarakat plural, all this is made up of many ethnic groups living in the same country. Like I said earlier, we have Indians, Malays, Chinese, Sikh, and others, right? So, once again, many ethnic groups living in the same country. That is the meaning of masyarakat majmuk. Okay, menurut J.S. Furnival, masyarakat majmuk adalah mereka bergaul tetapi tidak bergabung. Setiap kelompok mempunyai agama, kebudayaan, bahasa, pemikiran dan cara hidup masing-masing. Okay. Sebagai individu, mereka bertemu tetapi hanya di pasar, iaitu semasa berjual beli. So, according to J.S. Ferney, what he's trying to say is that different ethnic groups live close together, but they do not unite socially. They interact mainly in the marketplace and economic during economic activities. Okay, let's go to point number 3. Yeah? So, Malaysia's Masyarakat plural or Masyarakat majmuk, right, was developed during zaman penjajahan. The British brought in Chinese and Indian workers. This was to meet labor and economic needs in Tanah Melayu. So, Masyarakat Majmuk was not accidental, you need to know. The result of penjajahan, migration, economic planning, hence we have formed this Masyarakat Majmuk. Got it, huh? Next point. Masyarakat majmuk wujud dengan komuniti yang berlainan, tinggal sebelah menyebelah tetapi berasingan dalam unit politik yang sama. Malahan, dalam bidang ekonomi terdapat pembahagian buruh mengikut bangsa. So I think this point is very clear. Di semenanjung Tanah Melayu terdapat 3 etnik utama iaitu Melayu, Cina dan India. Manakala bumi Putra Sabah terdiri daripada etnik seperti Kadazan Dusun, Bajau dan lain-lain. Bumi Putra Sarawak pula merangkumi etnik seperti Iban, Malanau dan sebagainya. Okey. Mereka bukan sahaja terpisah kerana adat, makanan dan pakaian tetapi juga daripada segi pekerjaan dan tempat tinggal. Kewujudan masyarakat majmuk adalah sejajar dengan penjajah yang datang ke Tanah Melayu pada masa dulu dengan membawa masuk semua kaum tersebut untuk memenuhi peluang pekerjaan di Tanah Melayu. Okay, so I just explained it already. So in Malaysia, society includes Melayu, Cina, India, Kadazan Dusun, Iban, Malanau, right? So these groups, they live in the same country, but they may differ in jobs, living areas, the food that they eat, the clothes that they wear, the customs that they practice, their adat. Okay, so they coexist, but they're very different in the sense of lifestyle, culture, okay, residential area, type of work. Even though people lived in the same country, but they are all separated, segregated.